Sorry, I'm just clicking buttons over here.
Don't
pay no attention to me.
Just tossing banners on. What we can.
Thomas, how are you doing?
Good. Happy Thursday, Friday Eve. I'm excited. I don't know why. It feels to me like it's been a while since the last podcast, even though we just did one.
It has been sort of a long week.
Yeah, it has been. I will say, yesterday, my wife and I we were out in the driveway, and I don't remember if I texted you or not. I know I wanted to, but I don't know if I made it that far. And a gentleman who lives a street over that I run into at our little local pond here in our community that we fish at. And he started some YouTube stuff. And I told him about our podcast and your channel. And he said, I'll check it out. And, I hadn't heard back in, I don't know, 3 weeks or something.
It's one of those, podcast. Yeah, I'll listen sometime.
Yeah, sounds fun. Not fishing with you again, weirdo. And so yesterday he's walking his dog down the road, and he just looks over and he yells, "Blueberry Pop-Tarts, are you guys crazy?" And just keeps on walking.
With butter, nonetheless.
Yeah. So he said, he admitted to he watched the show. And tonight I was out front goofing around with something right before sound check, and I saw him walking again. Just a quick wave and said, "Hey, Roy, and how are you?" And I saw him give a quick glance at his watch, and I feel like he picked up his stride a little bit faster so he could.
We need to do a shout out. Is it Roy?
It is. It's Roy. Neighbor Roy, fisher friend Roy. If you're watching, and
the burner phone number is 801-513-1160. We want to know what size of fish Thomas really catches. We've heard his stories. We're just not sure if they're all the way true. They grow over time, right?
So he's a retired principal in our area, and he was just telling me, I started this YouTube thing, but it's an animated channel. He uses anime stuff, and it's like stories of a principal or tales of a principal, something like that. I need to get his channel back up. It's really good. He was like, it's just some garbage. So I don't know how he edits all the animations he's created and doing all that, and he does voiceover with it. For just trying it out, it's fantastic.
You sent me the link, and I listened to all of them.
Did you really?
I'm like, this guy can tell a story.
It's cool, right?
Some of them I thought this is going to be a slow start. Where's this going? And then it's like, wow, this one picked up. I wasn't expecting it to go there. It's cool. A lot of people don't imagine that, people like a principal have a lot of stories to tell. How many kids they deal with. And I mean, I don't know how many kids I have and how many stories I've got from my kids, and times that by 700 a year, and the principal's got a bunch more. So yeah, what's his channel name again?
So I need to find it because I'm a terrible friend.
Well, maybe if you just own up in chat and say hello, and then we could see it.
Oh, he's not chatting. Oh, found it. I'm going to put the link in chat here real quick here it is. It's Tales from a Principal's Office. He's got 17 subscribers, which he just started it. He doesn't advertise it. So there, I just put it in the YouTube chat because I don't think our chat works. Great guy. He and his wife Jeannie, fantastic people. They're so fun. They stop and talk when they walk their dog. We just love him to death. So if you guys are curious and want to check it out, especially if you got kids in school, he does a great job. And it's an animated video. It's really, really neat. So shout out to you, Roy, if you're watching, or if you watch tomorrow, or if you're not watching at all, then this is for nothing, but you might gain some subscribers out of it.
Yeah, it'd be awesome if you did. That'd be awesome. Denise says all friends wear teal. Thomas, do you want to wear the same color? Should one of us change?
If you want to, do you want to do a quick wardrobe change?
Yeah. Let me just find something a little bit more, maybe green to wear.
You need 2 or 3.
That's too green.
Oh.
That's too green.
There we go.
I tried to blend in and to match your shirt color.
He did. Denise, so I actually tried to grab a green shirt to match RA, and it was not green enough. So he did a color change via technology to match us up. That's how geeky we get before that podcast starts.
Oh, there it is. Oh, there we go. I can go all the way green. That's maybe too much. But this is actually the color of the shirt. How it looks on my screen is how it looks when I wear it. So there. Now we're both pastel, but not twinsies anymore.
That's right. Nurse for God, gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much. That's awesome.
Thank you.
I didn't see how all that went too. We've got Denise, one of the last commenters, was gifted. V. Lewis Arthur, Ohio, Palm Mom, SOS, Scent Bunny, and Wayne Kent. Congratulations on the membership.
That is really, really awesome of you guys. We've got Tisha S became a YouTube member again, I think, again, and Megan Easton again. Oh, wait, you gifted a membership as well. Thank you, Megan. Amazing, all of you. Well, we're doing things a little bit different today. Do you want to tell them why, or should we just wait until the end and see if they notice?
No, let's go ahead and tell them, and they can grade us so we can get true, honest tomatoes in our face feedback. Well,
all right. This is where it went. We were sitting down after last. You correct me if I remember this incorrectly, because I tend to take liberties with the truth sometimes.
Okay. Okay.
It's creative liberties. We're critiquing our show at the end of the show, as we normally do, and we decided that that part of it was not relevant, and that we thought maybe we would do away with that part, and that part was the script. Is that pretty much we just decided to go scriptless, so we're just winging it.
100%. We said so that was really good, and we did our typical stories, but we went on in so many other directions without. And when I say script, I mean we have news stories, and that's it. It doesn't say this or comment.
It's like a URL link with a little one-liner. That's our script.
Yeah, that's our note. But we went off on different tangents and just continued on that we filled the space. We were halfway through the podcast during our intro, I think. So after the show, I just said, let's do next week. No stories. Let's just get on and talk and chit chat and hang out and see how it goes.
So look, Mom, no hands. Here we go.
That's what we're doing.
This could be a train wreck.
Yeah.
No, but Thomas, I've got faith in you. It's exciting. There's been so much that's happened this week that we can talk about. I know I promised I was going to tell a patina story. Can I do that first?
You can. And I cheated with the scripting because when you said it on your live today, I wrote it down to remind you. So I'm going to scratch that off.
Okay. So you said you still have a script, but I don't.
That's right.
Okay.
They'll say
so we're the trial we're following right now. They're talking about patine or patina a lot, and as I understand the word, it's like a color change. It's like rust. So copper has a patina finish that turns green. Right, like this color. Copper will turn this color of green when it sort of rusts. So I used to work in the metal business world, and we would buy and sell. I need to move you to the other side, Thomas. Is that all right? It's messing with my left brain, right brain issues. Okay.
People on chat have been calling it out.
Okay, thank you. So I used to work in the metal building industry, and we would sell steel roof panels and everything else, and walls and purlins and girts, all the parts to make a metal building.
Yep.
And occasionally someone would come to us and say, look, do you sell copper? I'm like, oh, no, nobody really wants a copper roof. Do you know how expensive copper is? Like actual copper is it's like building a roof out of pennies, but more expensive because pennies aren't even pure copper.
Right.
But sure enough, they said, yeah, we want the plan says actual copper. And so they'd bring in these copper sheets, and it looks just amazing. I mean, I've never seen a gold sheet, but this is the next best thing. Right.
Yep.
And so we would bend up these copper sheets or run them through, mills and shape them into roof panels. And so we do this huge job, and I can't tell you how many hundreds of thousands of dollars of roofing material this was. And it was shipping up to Jackson Hole, Wyoming.
Okay.
And they get it up there, and they call us in a panic. And they're like, oh crap, we're not allowed to have any shiny roofs.
Oh,
it can't be shiny. We're like, well, you want to wait a few years? Copper will naturally, it'll lose its shine, right? Yeah. You'll get this patina finish. And they're like, they're saying we have to have it fixed this week or we tear it down.
Oh, no.
It was so much money in the roof, and it was such a pain to make. It was not fun to work with on our end. And so we all put our heads together, and we came up with a suggestion. And we said, take all your roofers up on the roof and have them pee on it. Just pee on the roof, everybody. Pee on the roof. It will trigger the reaction in record time. In a couple of days, you'll start seeing that patina work. And so I don't know what all the neighbors thought, but all the roofers are up on the roof chugging water and just taking care of the patina issue. So if you're up there in Jackson Hole and you see a building that was put up really fast and had copper roof and now it's patinaed, now you know why it's patinaed, because we told them to pee on it.
A patinaed pee on. I don't even know where to hear. Yep.
I don't know what story you're going to go to after that without a script.
Yeah, I don't know how we segue from anything.
What's this explicit language warning?
So yeah,
I saved it for the podcast because can't do that during the day.
What else and whatnot? No,
patina, patina. There it is.
PP patina. There it is. Judy, nailed it. Yeah, way to set me up for the future. I really appreciate it.
Well, I just figured anywhere you go from here would be an improvement. Like,
I don't think
on a lighter notes, we've got other things to talk about. Nurse for God, thank you very much for the super chat. Appreciate you.
Dropping bombs. So yeah, trying to figure out where to go from that. How about
I can let me tee up a transition for you. Ready?
Yeah. Let's
right now. Wouldn't you be grateful for like an AI co-host on your podcast?
Yeah. I don't. So yes and no. All right. Right now, yes. But
in this very moment.
But oftentimes, so there is something that I told Scott I wanted to mention. It's not an article that I shared or anything like that, but AI it's been big for many, 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 many years. And we've been talking about it almost every week, right? For the last, I don't know, 6 podcasts, I'm going to say. It's gaining massive traction, huge attention. With AI, there's going to be good and bad. And we're going to have to fix things. And whether you're for it or against it, there's just going to be good and bad. There's also going to be kind of in the middle is the way I view a story. Again, I didn't read this one. I heard it on a morning talk show when I was driving my daughter to school, and I really liked it. And I thought I want to mentally remember this one for the podcast. So everyone knows about Chat GPT, or most do. That's AI generated. You can ask it to write you something, tell a story, draft whatever you want, and it's amazing. Well, a guy took advantage of this. And from what I remember of the story, he ate at McDonald's often. So there is an investment there. But
can't be good when it starts with he ate at McDonald's often.
Yeah. I don't know. I really love their double quarter pounder with cheese. It's amazing. What he would do, he would go in to eat. And when customers would leave their receipts on tables, from my understanding, he would go collect them. And all the receipts that had, leave almost every place has anymore, take our survey for a chance to win something, whatever. So he would take all these receipts and have Chat GPT give a response to all of these surveys. He would just go online, plug in the receipt number, and have Chat GPT do it. Just do. And he did so many, and I don't have the timeline. I don't know that. Again, I didn't read the article. I just heard through the story that he earned hundreds and hundreds of, thousands of points that equated to hundreds and hundreds of like free burgers at McDonald's. So on the radio station with their panel, it was, is that stealing? Is that cheating? Is it? No. Is it kind of slimy, stretching the rules?
I would say
shady?
That it's not what McDonald's envisioned when they made the program.
100%. So that's where it's wild, because now you have, executives going, never thought this would be an issue, where AI and Chat GPT is a big opportunity for Wayne. Love it.
That was awesome.
That's perfect.
But you've got, that McDonald's is using a robot on the other end to read them, right? And to analyze. So now we just have robots talking to robots, and we should all be happy, because I don't know. It's you knew it was going to end up this way.
Yeah. So, and here's where it's different, right? Because he's having Chat GPT just like automate it. So McDonald's is not getting true feedback that they're looking for to improve their service, their menu, their whatever, right? So they're not getting. So now they're giving and not getting. So now there are execs in boardrooms sitting there thinking, how do we combat this? How do we protect it? How do we fight it? 5 years ago, do you think they were having these discussions of how do we protect our surveys we're giving customers?
They were saying, who?
Yeah.
Yes. But, with some of the execs that are not complaining right now when it comes to AI are the guys at the top of NVIDIA, who just, as we spoke right now, just hit the high point on the stock for the day is trading now over $800 a share. It's up today. It's up 16.3%, because they make the chips that run the AI robots.
There you go.
And everyone's buying them. From the kids, my kids' age are buying them, and all the way through corporations to set up things to to bilk McDonald's out of free cheeseburgers. So
$100%.
NVIDIA says, thank you, everyone.
Everyone that's taking advantage and using it. Hashtag not sponsored, by the way,
Yes,
NVIDIA.
not sponsored.
So let's watch NVIDIA tomorrow and see if your subscribers go jump on board again.
I don't know, you missed it. It was, let's see, if you look at it was actually down at one point this week. I know this isn't a stock show, but at one point it was down to what, 673. That was on the 21st, and now it's the 22nd. It's up to 800. So that's a huge jump. So now investment advice. ChatGPT told me to invest in NVIDIA 8 months ago, says Greeners.
I've got, do you have Mod Chat up by chance?
No, I'm watching my Robinhood, but I can switch over. What's up?
So I'm not, well, no, I'm going to add him. So 6 volts taking advantage of AI right now to make thumbnails. And he just posted a thumbnail of me generated by AI.
Hang on. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere.
6 volt. This is hilarious. So he's currently using AI to make thumbnails. So far, one of myself. That I don't know how to prove.
I'm scared to see what,
I'm waiting for yours to pop up.
Hang on.
May be upon us.
The apocalypse may be upon us.
Could be.
Hang on, I've got the wrong. I've got my green screen switcher up. I need to switch to the other green screen.
No, zeros. I love it. Will AI take over mods?
I bet it could. That's a scary thing. Why is it not?
Oh no, I'm gonna be out of a job.
Downloads.
It's not loading because I don't love it. It's creepy. It's creepy. And it's better looking. So I'm actually don't want to share this with everyone.
Let's see, MacBook Pro. Oh, I sent it to the wrong computer. That's why. Okay, there it is. Let's bring it up right here. And it'll be on my side, but you can compare the images. Oh, here we go. There we go.
That's courtesy of 6 Volt Bus, one of the mods who is tinkering with AI.
What is that on your hand? Is it like a...
It's a microphone.
Yeah, but like on your knuckles, you got like brass knuckles / cable. I'm not sure what.
You would go with cables.
It's just brass knuckles. It's just like a glove.
No, it's my audio input output.
it's my chip. That's how I see the world.
That's
pretty good. That's pretty good. I'm scared to see if there's any others.
I'm refreshing as fast as I can so we can get yours on screen as soon as it happens.
That's impressive.
But yeah, AI is wild. It's
that is literally robots drew that picture.
Yeah, they did. So my line of work that I do, I don't know if I've ever disclosed this, but so our company, we translate documents, typically legal documents and marketing from any language to any other language, but a lot of it would be English to another foreign language for business entities. And so we get a lot of conversations where people approach and say, hey, aren't you worried about AI and them taking over and being able to do it? And for the near future, not at all, because AI is really good at certain things and not great at others. So for example, if you have a small sentence and you throw it into Google Translate, you will understand the meaning. It'll do a good job. If you have a 350-page legal contract, or you just have some marketing material, there's $1 million mistakes in there that will ruin a company if they published or produced or signed that thing.
You think a comma could get you in trouble? Wait till ChatGPT mistranslates your legal jargon on your fine print.
100%. So it's getting better and stronger and good, but there's so many things out there that you can't relay context or exchange emotion through writing without the human entity being involved in it. And I had an example the other day. Someone came to me and said, hey, I had this translated in this, and we had it read, and it was the complete opposite of what it was supposed to be. So sometimes it does great. Sometimes it fails. But it's getting better and better and better. So, Mod Chat, it's having fun with that picture.
The rate at which AI is increasing in how useful it is scary.
Yes,
it's so scary that like social media platforms, Twitter, for instance, are saying we're going to have to start flagging images to show when they're not real.
Right. because so many
I'll have to say
look.
this is generated, but
We thought filters were a game changer. Now they're just getting built. It's wild. We actually, I'll get off topic here or get off the subject in a minute. Our company, we met with another company that's up and coming, trying to work with Hollywood, and it was taking voice actors like Denzel Washington, taking his voice, the content, to everything about it, and they could just click Portuguese, and immediately the whole movie, it was Denzel speaking in Portuguese, and it sounded amazingly
sounded like Denzel
close.
Washington.
Yes, which was awkward as ever could be because
He
you're
does not
watching
speak
Denzel.
Portuguese.
He does not speak Portuguese, and not that well. But it was incredible how well they could switch that. That was all voice, not written like we do. But it was incredible what they were doing with it. But yeah, AI is going to just boom and boom and boom.
I've got to tag this one when I can. So Weather Watch works for the enemy. Got it.
No,
AI is interesting. It's funny that in some areas technology is booming, and we're overcoming obstacles we never thought we'd be able to overcome. Never thought computers could get to this point where they're fixing themselves and making more computers. Okay, it's straight out of iRobot. It's scary. In other areas, our best technology still can't get past the simplest of natural obstacles, like the sun and an occasional solar flare. This morning, we've got this little sun cycle. The sun makes its big little, it does a little thing. It does a little show. Okay, little show. You can't see it even with the glasses or even looking through Pop-Tarts. You can't see it. You need special telescopes to see it. But it makes this huge, like a little volcano, an arc, like one of those flares that jumps up off the surface of the sun.
The sun vomits.
Is it spews its rays, its gamma or whatever it is.
Spatters.
It spatters. And it flies at like light speed through space and it hits the earth. And when this happens, it ruins cellular telephone networks. And so this morning's AT&T outage, people are saying, was caused because of this high solar flare activity. And while we're on right before our show ended, we just got to notice that there was another flare in this, and it's biggest ever. It's huge.
Yeah.
And so tomorrow I expect everybody's phones to be down because the system, it might take down the podcast. I don't know when it gets here. I don't know. Does it take like 8 minutes to arrive, or is it like 8 days? Or
so solar flares can take hours to minutes, but they affect the portion of the earth that is most lit by the sun at that current time.
Oh, we're safe.
So
We're in the shadow.
Yes, but to argue your point, if anyone wants to go to swpc.org, it's the Space Network Weather Prediction Center. Just like there's the severe weather, there's the winter weather. 99.9% of people within weather and space weather experts are debunking every single headline that this outage had anything to do with the solar flares. They say zero. Are
they saying that it's actually the aliens, or are they saying that
no? There's
like a terrorist.
No, actually, there's a professor, I forget the university, who works with iSpace or I forget what it is, but he came out and stated it's most likely a cloud misconfiguration and or human error that caused this. And they did follow up with, is it possible that this event could affect something what happened today? Yes, but this is actually a big coincidence, and we don't have any evidence that this event actually had the effect for AT&T and the other providers that had the outage. So it just so happens that was the case.
So what I'm hearing is that all the other providers are saying, no, it wasn't. It's just AT&T's got a bad network. Ours is better. But had they gone down, they'd be like, yep, it's the sun. It's the sun. We can't do a dang thing about it.
Yeah.
No, it's interesting. I will say that I have noticed because I'm involved in ham radio. I've noticed that the sun flares play a huge part in how radio waves propagate,
and it affects that more so than cellular.
Cellular is much shorter distance and different frequencies and everything. But anyway, tinfoil hats off now. We're gonna
until the podcast crashes, and then
on a more basic level, how did the AT&T outage affect you guys this morning? Did anyone else pick up their phone this morning and see it said SOS, or they had 0 bars and no, I can't hear you now happening? I personally, my phone went dead this morning, and I was not able to do anything till just after lunch. It came back.
So I'm a Verizon user, even though I know Verizon was affected, but less lower impact than what was advertised for AT&T. But we weren't affected. I did have a couple colleagues that they emailed in saying, "Hey, we've got nothing. We're AT&T." And actually, I didn't even know what had happened until he emailed in and said that. And I went, "Oh, I'm going to look into this, and I'm going to follow it today and see what happened." And then it broke out. So yeah, I know a few people that were affected by it. And then it was actually fun. You mentioned on your stream that you were affected. A few people in chat, I want to say Ohio, Indiana, and somewhere else, stated they were affected by it, which was great because there was news articles saying that it was solely in the Southeast. It was Texas, Mississippi, Louisiana, and nowhere else in the news. Shocker.
They got it wrong.
Yeah. Well, they whiffed.
It should be against the law for them to get it wrong in the news.
Mm-hmm.
Can't trust the news. Yeah. Zero problems with my phone all day, says Pam.
Yeah, same here. I wasn't affected by anything at all. So.
I was fortunate because I'm directionally impaired. When it comes to driving, I have a difficult time finding my way around, especially because now that I live out here in North Carolina. When I lived back in like the Rocky Mountain area, the Wasatch Front, there were mountains, there were marks. I could tell by the mountain peak and the canyons. I knew exactly where it was.
Right
now it's flat and all the trees look the same, and so I drive 2 blocks away. And it's like I don't know how to get there. I can't get home from here without GPS to help me. So with GPS going down, I would be like driving around in circles forever.
I'm willing to bet you know what direction you are facing right now from your office because you have to deal with the sunrise in the mornings of your streams.
East.
Okay.
Facing east. Yes.
But you go outside middle of the day, get in the car and take a left and a right, and then you're lost.
Yeah. That's why I have the compass in the car that tells me which way I'm heading.
That's funny. I did want to ask you a question. This is kind of not relevant, which makes perfect sense for this podcast. Kind of piggybacking off of AI changing things and, weather phenomenon changing this and that. Watching court and how careful cameras have to be. And now, I guess, perfect.
That happens.
Thank you, Judge Manning. I want to say this. When you first started streaming, I felt like there were less implications, rules, instructions, restrictions by judges. And now it seems almost every case, especially high profile, everyone is zoning in and tuning in to the restriction by the judge. So I'm curious, how much has that changed the game for you? And you've been doing this for a year, which a year is a long time, but in the sense of being a career YouTuber, it's short.
It's very short. Yeah. I'll tell you this, that just in the time that I've been doing this, a lot of new people have joined. Okay. And I love that. I like, there's so many people who are so much more talented than me. I like to watch them. So that's a benefit to me. Yeah. I get to see some entertainment that's quality as opposed to what I produce. But it's, so I like that, but it comes with challenges because I have a media background. I've worked in the news media. I've been trained in my degrees in communications. I understand how news works and vetting sources and things like that, and the importance of guarding what information goes out and making sure that we're not just spewing whatever comes up out on the air. And other people don't have that vantage point, and so the barrier for spreading misinformation is lower.
Right.
And that has, I think, caused a problem with the court. And we see people that are not following those sort of preset little rules about media coverage, and basically running with everything they can because they're able to. Yep. And the courts are pushing back, and we're getting more restrictions. We have some courts that are saying, okay, we don't count that as media. We don't want you guys as part of this.
Yeah.
Talking about a TV station, a newspaper, a radio station, that's media. We're not going to talk about this new media that's social media.
Social media is not media in a lot of their minds.
Yeah. Even though every one of those platforms is dependent on social media to function.
Correct.
That's how they schedule their interviews. That's how they source a lot of their news. That's how they reach a lot of their subscribers. Everyone is social media, right. But a lot of places are pushing back. We are seeing more what they call EMCs, expanded media coverage, rule books that are being laid out, saying, okay, because of social media and then this new change, this is how we're going to address it, and how we're going to put restrictions on and say what you can do and how we're going to handle all this new demand. Because in the past, you wouldn't have 500 people who want to come cover the Alex Murdaugh trial.
Right.
And now you've got 500 media journalists from every sort of source that wants to be there. And so they say, okay, here's how we're going to work this. And honestly, most of the rules are sort of protectionist. They protect the old system. That, you know, the people with the big cameras and the big TV trucks and the satellite dishes, they're considered the veterans.
Those with money.
Those with money, yes. And good-looking anchors. That also gets you far in the news media. So you smile at the right bailiff, and they're like, "Yeah, we'll get you in. We'll get you in." It doesn't work for me. I smile at them and they're like, "Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to stay outside.
Take a number." So that actually brings me to something that happened today, and it's actually happened multiple times. But I thought, oh my gosh, I would like to bring this up at the podcast. So when there was a stream, audio was played through the courtroom, right? It has obviously become a thing, because true crime YouTube is getting so big that the paralegals, the assistant, whoever it is being tasked with watching a certain stream, whether it's yours, EDB, Long Crime, Court, whoever, right? Watching the stream, watching comments, looking at the public opinion and how they feel. Not even just their opinion, how they feel, but someone points out, oh my gosh, did you just see that they did this and that's not allowed and that shouldn't, whatever it might be. And they take notes. I look at how Brandy Churchwell Chart started. She made a huge correction in the timeline on a Murdaugh trial, and they grabbed a hold of that thing.
Yeah.
So I started thinking about it. To me, should that be regulated? Is that fair game? Or should it be, hey, if you're watching live commentary of public opinion, a live chat, you need to make that known, so the opposing party can also make sure they can also watch, knowing you're doing
judge
that.
For the record, I'm monitoring 6 different streams. I'm watching Icked Recovery Addicts. I'm watching Brandy Churchwell, Long Crime, and Court TV.
I truly think that's gonna be a thing. Right now, I think it's hey, good on you for doing all the homework and research you can and getting a feel for what's happening and what's going on. You've got eyes on streams, so someone might point something out you missed in live time. Yeah, nosy Rose, I agree. Right now, fair game. As they continue doing it and more courts are finding out that's the new thing, do you think it's going to get regulated, or there's going to be rules?
I think
it's crazy.
I think on the lawyer side, we'd probably see less, because it really benefits them, and they're the ones that are going to be pushing the courts. The courts are very reactive to motions. Okay, the judge rarely just comes out and makes a ruling. Right, they usually have to be presented with an argument or an objection of some sort. And so, where the lawyers are benefited, and they're benefited by live streaming, because they get instant feedback on what potentially the jury is thinking. Right. And where else could you get that? I mean, you cannot get it in court. You can't ask them. Just a quick poll, jurors, if you can just fill out your surveys now. Is this working for y'all?
Right.
They can't. But being able to look on a live stream and say, look, you know, they're doing polls for us. Literally, I can see right now that 76% of people think this person's guilty. It's working. You know, we're keeping that hammer. It's working.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're going to be pushing for it as much. But the problem is, where either a prosecutor or a defense is harmed by the media. And you look at Brian Koberger, you look at Lori Vallow Daybell, where the media went too close. They got too close because they could, and invaded, and they're like, hey, this is too much. Right now, every scratch on my face from shaving is critiqued, and my client he's under a microscope now. That's just not fair.
Right.
And that's where they make an objection, and that's where the court comes down, and they've from everything we've seen, they usually rule very hard against that. They push back very hard because they're so protective. They're there to have a fair system for everybody, including the defendant, who is innocent unless proven guilty in the court. And so the judge pushes back really hard on that. That's why we've had court cases closed down with no media access. That's why we've had audio only delays. I think those issues will work themselves out, because overall, our society here in the United States, we believe in transparency. We
Right.
don't like, something happening in the dark. We're like, I don't know. They went to court. We're not sure what's going to happen until they announce the end. We
Yeah.
don't like that. We want to see that the system works and that the bad guy gets punished and the good guy gets set free, and the recompense was made, and that's just how we feel. So I think that overall, those the pendulum, as it swings back and forth, is extreme right now, but it will settle down, and it will settle down in an area where there will be some transparency, and probably the federal government might have to address it, but on a broad level. I'd love to see it start with the feds and open up the Supreme Court and federal court cases for live streaming.
Yeah.
Show us, put your money where your mouth is, right?
Yeah. Show us what's going on. Show us that there's nothing behind the scenes that's working against certain individuals and whatnot. I think one of the biggest impacts, just my opinion, and what I'm not an attorney, but if I was on the legal side, what I would want to see is a channel who has a guest in court that calls in and gives feedback from their observation. Biggest thing would be, I call in and say, yes, during this portion of direct, it appeared that the jury was just getting lost and confused and not following along and not really invested in a certain situation. Now, so after day of trial, I would go pick up a streamer's his feed, and I would rewatch, and I would try to catch when that caller who was in court, because I'm doing my job. I'm working with the judge. I'm trying to face the jury, but I'm also trying to present evidence, and I'm talking to a witness. I can't focus on the jury their whole time and get their body language to a T. But if I can hear a court watcher share their opinion of, yeah, their body language, they were checked out, they were done, then I can revamp and readjust to what I'm doing tomorrow and the next day, or how I'm going to present certain things. To me, that's the most impactful, as far as if I were on trial and using YouTube, true crime, to adjust what I'm doing and how I'm reacting, would be, I would try to find the court watchers that are calling in and giving their feedback from their observations, I think.
Yeah. It's I think it's an asset to lawyers that I think will help them be better in court. I think it opens up that side that I think it helps courts, honestly, because we like to think that there are no bad teachers out there, right? And they're all just perfect teaching our kids, and we'd like to think there are no bad judges. Well, we know better on both counts, right?
Yeah,
we've had a couple bad ones. I think this helps to get rid of the bad judges, where we've got people that really maybe shouldn't be on the bench, or maybe have been there too long and need to maybe move on to enjoy their retirement or something. So I think that helps bring it about. Yeah, I'll tell you, from a personal standpoint, it's been remarkable to see, to interact with lawyers on cases that I'm covering. And then there's some
great point.
It brings it to an international stage.
Great
Love
point.
it. But to see lawyers reach out and talk to me or call me and say, hey, I've got a question about, or hey, how was this? Some of them I've been able to share on live stream. There are others that I don't have permission to share publicly that I've been able to talk with, just,
I know.
wow, just moments where I just want to be like, yeah, this is crazy. But I mean, tonight
there's one we want bad.
Which one's that?
Oh, we can't share, remember? Maybe one day.
One day. There's tonight I got a call from a good friend, Dr. Joe Corcoran, who's the witness for the Maya trial. And he's like, hey, I was talking to Greg Anderson and told him about your JHatch counter. And I've never seen him laugh that hard in my life. He loved it. Can you put it up for me so he can see it live? So I'm like, sure. That's why I did that. So he could see the numbers. So yeah, it's strange. It's a new world a little bit. It's sort of a wild world. There is going to be legislation that's coming. There has to be, because there are people that take it too far. You see the streamers that get hold of those documents they shouldn't. The pictures of Gannon Stauch, for instance.
Yeah,
go live with that, and it's like
charging people to view.
This is why we can't have nice things, guys.
Right.
When we just need to do what's right, and everyone get along. Anyway, I love it.
Get named in affidavits. Did you imagine that when you started up your
get named in court documents? Their pictures shows up there. It's
holy moly.
Love it. It's good. Anyway, good times.
I saw a comment from him.
What was the?
No, it's good.
UK courts and US courts is like chalk and cheese in terms of media access and coverage of trials and courts.
Some cheese looks like chalk, though, in all fairness.
Cheese tastes like chalk. All right. See, that was wrong. The YouTuber who shall not be named.
Yes. Yeah, that was a big deal when that came out.
I do feel for them because I tell you, I didn't know the rules when I started. I mean, I knew the rules from like media standpoint, but I didn't realize how easy it would be to accidentally break the rules.
Right.
And even now I'm looking at building in a delay into my system because sometimes the rules get broken when you don't have a say in it. Just like you're watching court, you're part of the pool, you're getting the feed, and suddenly the feed is breaking the rules.
Right.
And so being able to edit that out is key. So looking at that.
So being on this little YouTube tangent, again, being unscripted, here we are, and this is what's happening. I thought of something today that I wanted to share a thought with, and I think I've done it in the past, but it really blows my mind to think about it. So you think on an average day, let's just say anywhere from, it depends on the trial you're covering and whatever subject matter. So we'll just say 1,200 people are live watching you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all 1,200 of us can hear you, and we hear the audio coming from whatever you're playing, and we're chatting, and so we're laughing, and you're making your remarks to comments, and you're giving feedback from what you're seeing. And so we as viewers are almost kind of conversing with you and what's happening and with our friends in chat. And the funny thing is, if you completely remove yourself as a viewer and put yourself in your shoes, you don't hear what we're listening to. When you're sitting there talking and saying, "Hey, Red Pen, oh man, that's funny." Red Pen didn't say that. Yes.
This is what I hear on my end.
You are in a home studio talking to yourself all day, and your feedback is text. Whereas if I make a comment and you highlight it and you say, "Yeah, weather watch, yeah, blah, 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 blah." So we kind of communicate. You are in that studio all day talking to yourself into text.
You make it sound pretty bad. Like
Oh.
I'm a little bit loopy in my head.
No,
but
so my whole point is how much talent that takes and creativity, and how quick-witted one has to be. Because I'll be honest, I can make a quick little video that I do on YouTube, but I don't go live because I can't entertain someone without having conversation. That's why I love the podcast, because we can talk, we can use some of the comments, and we can go back and forth. But if I go live on my channel, it's frozen as a ghost. I can't do it.
I could not do this without chat. Honestly, this is not a one-man soliloquy for 8 hours. I could probably ramble on for about 30 minutes and repeat myself several times. That's all I've got. But honestly, I'll start talking about a topic, and there's some points that I've thought of, and I'll start talking, and chat's going to go, and I'm seeing this, and somebody's like, "Oh, that's a great point," and I'll bring it up, and I'll try to recognize. First of all, I try to give credit. When somebody else thinks of a good point, I'll try to put it on the screen and say, "Hey, this is a great question because I hadn't thought of this, but now that you brought it up, this is something we should talk about." But I do talk to myself all day long.
It's wild to think about, but I will say
I make voices in my head. There are some users I've never heard on the phone, and in my head I can hear them. And some of you have higher, whinier voices, and some of you have lower, more authoritative voices. and some of you, the first time you call, I'm like, I did not peg you right. Yeah, I was completely wrong on that one. I even get the genders wrong. So,
what's going to happen? Because you get names and text, and even sometimes with voice. I mean, I've half a dozen times I've been to a drive-through and they say, "Hi, how can I help you, ma'am?" I mean, that happens.
I would like a
yeah. I just go with it. Oh, that sucks. Thanks. But
great.
Yeah, it's super crazy. It takes so much talent for what you do. But I will say, you gave credit. You couldn't do it without the chat. I'm not in chat all day chatting. I watch it pretty much all day. But oh my goodness, the quick wittedness and just the smart people in your chat that bring information to the table. I mean, sometimes it's immediate. You might say, well, yeah, I don't. And then boom, the next comment is, "Hey, it's this, this, and this." There are so many intelligent people in the chat. Well,
what do I say? No, I cannot tell you. Every single person, if I did the voice that I have in my head for you, it would offend you. Yeah. Except for Wayne Kent, who I nailed right on the button.
You got it.
I got it's good.
it takes talent, and we appreciate you and what you do. So I just wanted to kind of shout that out of something.
You're too kind. You really are, and honestly, you're undervaluing the impact of having a community that can talk about just about, I mean, some of the most difficult conversations that society deals with, we talk about on the channel.
Yeah.
And can do it sometimes in a lighthearted way, and sometimes in a very respectful way, and always a very informed way. And really, I get to verbalize your great ideas. That's what I'm doing. So it's not the talent you think it is. Honestly, if you think I've said something really wise, just scroll up a little bit. It's probably up there in chat.
You hear that, chat? You got to start copywriting things before you put them in there. You got to get a little TM after your comment, especially some of the super chats.
Read us out loud. Yeah. Anyway, I wanted to tell you something about something completely unrelated.
Perfect.
I've been following the markets a little bit. I've got a buddy who he's a like a CFO, CEO of a organization. I won't out him here. I don't think he's listening, but
Dr. Joe.
Shout out. He's local. He's local here, and he's doing very well. His career is one that he provides for his family very, very comfortably.
Okay.
Nice house, all the toys. Great. He's doing great. Loves his job. On the side, he started trading the stock market. He's like, wow, I did 300% on the stock market last year. I'm like, you excuse me? The guy's like cracked the code. I'm sure whatever he's doing must be illegal, but he's making 3 times his money on his investment. And he's like, oh, I just look for this and this and this. And he's got it figured out. Anyway, so he gave me some pointers, and I started looking at the stock market, and I went down a rabbit hole, which I often do when I get on the internet. I start looking at I don't know, repair parts for a toilet because I need to fix our toilet, and I end up at BH Photo ordering cables. And I don't know how I got to that point, but
that's a rabbit hole.
But I was watching. I saw a news story. I'm like, wow, this we had talked about this before. And I know we have people in chat that are interested in horses, and horses and horse ownership. The whole equestrian lifestyle is growing. It's booming.
Yeah, my wife and I are in it.
We talked about this because I guess it came up in the Crumbly trial, obviously the horses, right. And it's not cheap. It's a serious investment. It's not something you just do on a whim. It takes a fair amount to maintain, and the horses are, big animals eat more food. That's basically how it goes. They require expensive care. So year over year, what was it? 2 years ago, $122 billion in the US, the equestrian industry. And this is like veterinary, they adds in all these things, 122. And then the following year, up to $177 billion.
Wow.
So all on horses. I guess you could say there's a bit of a cult following.
Yeah. Oh, he did it. He did it. Was that a true story and a dad joke, or was it? Okay.
Yes.
That was
sort of proud of that one.
That was well done. Yeah, my wife and I are in the equestrian world. I grew up with horses on our land, and then we had to downsize, and so my mom was boarding her horses just as the Crumblies did. I was a lot younger then, so I didn't know the expense and the cost of all that and how it went. But now that I'm older and where we are now with horses, I know that expense and that cost. It's insane. But it's huge, and depending where you are and what you're doing and what you're doing with them as well. There's racing, there's breeding, there's cowboying, there's rotoing, there's team roping,
there's chasing them and trying to put a saddle on them.
There's that, and there's
on that part.
Yeah, fair enough. So it all depends on the type of horse and the purpose of the horse and how many horses and the environment you're in as well. And it can be it goes from expensive to extremely, extremely expensive in the horse world. It's wild, absolutely. Yeah. And there it is.
There's my experience.
So,
we just barely got you here as a member, SF in Texas. So just upped the other day.
So stocks and animals, there was a story I heard again on the radio that, how we throw coins in wishing wells and in little waterways. I don't remember where it was. It was a zoo somewhere. But did you hear about this?
I heard this. Alligators?
Yeah, the alligator.
Yes.
A 36-year-old alligator, they found 70 coins in its belly. So they had to all new signage and advertisements of, hey, don't throw coins in our ponds and whatnot.
I would say, please throw paper money. It doesn't eat it. It's easier for us to clean up.
Can you throw rolled up paper money instead so we can just
Fat
grab
stacks
that?
of cash, please,
Yeah.
in the gator pit. No one else is going to jump down and get it. First of all,
No.
it's safe in the gator pit. But oh my, yeah, it was like they had enough change. Did they get like a staff party, like free drinks all around with the half digested coins? They did not kill the gators, and there were two. I think there were two gators. They did this and got quite a few coins.
Okay.
Which I don't know why the gators are eating coins, but I guess
whatever they're eating and going to scoop something up, the coins are a byproduct, or I don't know, because they got to be sunk at the bottom.
If you're swimming in Florida, don't have loose change in your pocket. That's what I'm hearing.
Gator bait. Everything comes back to copper.
Yep, comes back to the copper. When I was a kid, I went to the zoo. Let's see, it was the Hogle Zoo that I went to, which is it's sort of a sad excuse for a zoo, really. It's not nearly the size of some of the big zoos, you know, San Francisco, and even the one here in North Carolina is amazing.
San Diego Zoo.
San Diego, yeah, there's some great zoos out there. But I went to the zoo, and in the rhinoceros, like the indoor rhinoceros house, or not rhinoceros, the hippo house.
Yep.
They had the chart on the wall, and it's like all these objects have been retrieved from the bottom of the pool and the hippos.
Oh my God.
And it's like they've got like a Bowie knife that's like, what are you guys doing with a Bowie knife at the zoo? And there's like dolls and binkies everywhere, and you expect those, and kids' bottles and sippy cups and shoes, and yeah, but the Bowie knife is just like, why? Yeah. I mean, anyway,
how and why? I grew up going to the San Diego Zoo, and we had the safari park as well. And the San Diego Zoo takes days to go through. The safari park you can get through in a day, but that one was really cool because they have a lot of the African animals that you can take kind of a tram and go through their habitat. And that was always super neat. But I remember always feeling just like bad for some of the animals until I learned why, you know, some of them are there. They can't survive in the wild without being here and whatnot. But that's a whole nother conversation I don't want to get into with people because I understand where that goes.
The monkeys at the Hogle Zoo. People would throw fruit to them, like they'd bring snacks and throw like oranges and apples and stuff. And then the zoo, obviously, they don't like that. They don't want you. The animals have a great healthy diet. So they cracked down on people throwing food to the monkeys, and it was like a big round, high cement wall, and the monkeys were on the inside, and people would throw stuff to them, and then the monkeys would eat it. It was all fun to watch. But when people stopped throwing food to the monkeys started flinging poop, and they now if you don't feed them, they throw poop at you. And I think they had to change the whole enclosure setup because the monkeys were revolting. And it's like, if anybody who comes along, if you don't feed us, type thing, we'll get you. And their aim is good because that's all they do all day is sit there and practice flinging it at people. So that's why you don't feed the animals, guys.
Don't throw them fruit.
No.
Which reminds me of fruit. Where does fruit go on vacation?
I don't know where.
Paris. Let the tomatoes fly. Which on a whim, just thought it up. Let's do a top 3. Okay. Favorite fruits. Let's go for
favorite fruits.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. I'm gonna say number 1 would be kiwi.
Oh man, kiwi's good. I'm gonna go my number 1, pomegranate.
I like the flavor of pomegranate, but they're just so much work.
Oh my gosh, it's a project and a half. Yeah. And my daughter loves them, and I don't know how many t-shirts we've thrown away because it's just a disaster.
It stains anything it touches.
It's terrible. Yeah.
They're the worst. I love them though. But I mean, it's all seed. You get a tiny bit of juice. I guess are pickles a fruit? Yes. So let's see. Kiwi, pomegranate. Next one. I've always enjoyed a good banana, a ripe banana that is not squished, that has not been bruised.
Well, who likes a squished or bruised banana?
Well, they're great. The squished and bruised ones go in banana bread, and my wife knows what to do with those, and they taste delicious. It will change your mind.
That's cheating, though. We're talking just eating a fruit.
I would say bananas. This triggers like a weird memory. I don't think I've ever vocalized this in my life. Okay. But when I was a little kid, I heard a guy who looked like Abe Lincoln Okay, he was not Abe Lincoln, but he dresses up. He's this really tall guy, and he does the beard, and he's a Abe Lincoln impersonator. But I heard a guy say that he believed that our bodies would tell us what we needed, and sometimes all you need is whatever potassium, whatever's in a banana, and that like stuck in my head. And so I was like, oh, I've got a headache. I wonder if I need a banana. And so I've eaten bananas since a little kid. It's like, clearly my body's telling me I need to eat a banana. And,
so you're stuck on bananas.
So I'm stuck on bananas. So that's going to be my number 2. I've never told that story to anyone. My wife does not know that.
We have talked about bananas a ton because I've talked about the I'm single, pick me bananas in the store, but you've never admitted that story to the show. So I'll give you that one.
Or anyone else in my life. I'm telling you, this is the first time I've verbalized this.
I would just tell the internet.
Abe Lincoln himself does not know this.
My number 2 is going to be kiwi. It's
Okay.
amazing. It's one of the best.
I-
We could do a top 8 to be realistic.
I like some of the stranger fruit, like the dragon fruit and things like that.
My daughter's
They're just too expensive, and I wish there was more selection because there's only like 3 of them at the store. And like clearly they're the losers, right? Because the good ones have already been picked over. These are the last remaining 3 dragon fruit. So I don't get dragon fruit very much. I'm going to go with an apple.
Which
But
Granny Smith or
I used to be straight Red Delicious, and I was just those 5 bumps on the bottom, Red Delicious. That's the way to go. Now I've branched out a little bit, and Honey Crisp is my current favorite.
no kidding.
Yeah.
That's probably not as common as most would think.
It's a cross, right? The Honey Crisp. I don't think it's a
hybrid apple.
It's an AI apple.
Yeah.
Robots made it.
Circles back right again. That's funny. Yeah, my daughter, her favorite's dragon fruit, and like you talked about, they're so expensive. So I've recently talked her into liking bananas for that very reason.
So with your daughters, here's what I did. I had a greenhouse at one point. I wanted to have my own little garden, and so I'm thinking, what will I grow? Well, let's grow dragon fruit and
She better not be listening.
lemon
I'm
trees.
gonna be mad in the morning.
Seriously, look up sometime what it takes to grow a dragon fruit. I don't know how they make any money. It's good. One day I'll live in a climate where I can plant a dragon fruit.
Use that strip of yard next to your house and make that into
Not doing anything else with it.
I could go, my number 3 could be 5 different ones, but I'm gonna go with mango.
Ooh. I told you my name, Mango Story.
I don't.
I can't do mango. Mrs. R.A. made me a mango shake. First time I'd ever had mango shake.
Okay. Did she grind up the skin or something?
Yes.
Oh no.
Yes.
Is she in chat?
Probably. And now I have to sleep downstairs.
Enjoy the Airbnb.
Yeah. No, I can't do mango. I don't know why. I think it was that the skin is like,
I know.
it's like a much like tougher version of like a kiwi, right? It's a weird, the texture is bad. The flavor is worse. It's like eating the peel of a banana. You just don't do it. It's not like, oh, some people prefer not to. No, it's just nobody does that. And I did. But
Yeah. I mean, technically you don't eat the skin of a banana. But you
that's
do.
called the handle. You don't eat the handle of pizza either. That little crust thing on the back. Right?
What if it's stuffed?
It just makes the handle stronger. It's just reinforcement. That's
Greasier. That's
Tell me, a quick show of hands. Who eats the pizza crusts? I mean, I'm not talking if you have like your little Caesars dip, whatever. I'm talking just plain, dry, greasy, fingerprinted pizza crusts. Other than Thomas. Okay, so maybe I might be in the minority. There's a lot of hands going on.
Bring on the hands. I love it. Oh, and some people are putting up 3 hands. Look at the hands just flying through. Oh, so, oh man,
How
you lost.
How do you know how many pieces you ate if you don't keep score with the crusts?
Because you see what's left over. How many?
Yeah, but
people
there's so many
slice?
kids in my family. We've got if you don't keep score, it's just the pizza goes away no matter what. No matter what, the pizza is gone at the end of the dinner.
I was going to
So-
say, I have a feeling with the size of your family, you don't need to, after pizza night, go, who had what? Do we have any leftovers? It's, I'll take all the empty boxes to the trash, would be my guess. Yeah. Look, think of the money you're wasting. Paul MC. You can buy a medium and eat the whole thing, including crust, or you can buy a large, pay more money, and just eat the pizza, no crust.
Or I could buy 2 large and not eat any crust and have all the pizza I want. This is how it works. I do have kids who love to eat the crust. They're like, "Are you going to eat that?" I'm like, "Oh no, I'll let you have it this time. Go ahead. You can have the crust." I give my kids pizza crust for dinner.
You can have my crust, and you can't have the. Oh,
this is true.
That's awesome.
Newfie girl, cold pizza for breakfast is awesome. I'm a big fan of that.
Somebody's I used to. I can't. Oh,
Thomas, I'm going to let you thumbs up, thumbs down. Do you want to flip a coin? Do we answer this one?
Do you have caller ID?
No.
Take it.
Okay, here we go. We're trying.
Remember, hello? They can't hear me.
Call from.
This for company.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Ivan, we timed you out today. We can't bring you on. He hung up on me. Hung up. That was him hanging up on me. Oh man.
Okay. It happens. I will say, on the pizza note, on the food note, and everything we've done so far, we're roughly at our hour mark. I need to get my wife and my daughter fed for the evening. So I think it's a wrap. I know Ivan and Ricky I think they're going live in about 10 minutes for those that joined the show. So for those of you that are here watching now, if you would be so kind to leave a comment when this video posts and let us know how you like it without having news stories readily available for us to read off of, and we just freehand it.
Really, all we did was we got rid of the painful transitions
and just made our own painful transitions.
Yes. So now it's not scripted. It's just a train wreck without the planned crashes.
Yes. Give us your feedback. We'd love to know. We want to change things up. We want to keep it entertaining. We want to keep you guys around and give you a place to come and have fun on Thursday evenings and unwind from the true crime show that's posted daily. So let us know. We're open to it all. The good, bad, and the ugly. We'll take it.
We will. We're over. We're 102. 102. We made it.
And we weren't late. We weren't late this time either. So.
Which was a miracle because I was late. The sound check started 10 minutes before the hour.
Yeah.
This is a bad trend. I apologize. I don't know how you were probably here for 40 minutes. Like his camera's on, but he's not there. So I apologize.
I was halfway late, and when I saw you late, I was like, yes, I'm on time. So,
so you beat me by a minute, is what you're saying.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it worked.
The guilt trip worked.
It is.
Awesome.
What time are you live tomorrow?
We're going to be starting tomorrow, I think about 8:30. Well,
8:30 Eastern.
We're 8:45 because the court starts at 8:30 Mountain Time, which is 2 hours. We might have a couple things to talk about in the morning. We're going to do a recap of what happened today in trial, obviously. Okay. We're going to talk a little bit about, Sarah Boone. She's indigent. We just found that out, apparently, in the court filing. Let's see. There's a lot going on. Ian Runkle's on tonight. So we got Ricky, Ivan, Ian, many places to go, people to choose from. That's wonderful. So, you have anything on the schedule this weekend?
This weekend?
Yeah.
I actually do. I have a major detailing job on Saturday.
You're cleaning your motorcycles. Is that no?
I went car shopping yesterday and bought one.
Send the pics. Is this your dream car?
I got my dream car yesterday.
Wow. Volkswagen bus. What year was it? No, just kidding. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what it is. I know from the motorcycles you drive that it's not a Volkswagen bus. That's your dream car.
No, it's got a few more ponies, but no, it's been my dream car for 10, 12 years. It all just kind of came up in conversations with family. Our daughter's about to be driving, so I'm going to give my current car to her. And so we thought, I'll get me a car, and we just did some numbers. And there happened to be one 2.5 hours south of me available with the spec and color and everything I wanted.
When there's one 2.5 hours away, that's not minivan. I'm going to say, just Steve on that one. I'm going to say, no, it was not a minivan.
The only one in the country in the spec I wanted, and it was 2 hours away. We went yesterday, test drove it, and brought it home last night. So,
wow, that is awesome. And now you have to clean it.
Yeah. So Saturday,
I'll make room in the garage.
Yes, I'm a huge detailing guy. I love just geeking out with that type of stuff. So Saturday, I will spend probably 5 hours just cleaning every nook and cranny, and the wheels will come off, and I will refinish stuff. And I'm so excited. I will be in my happy place on Saturday.
live stream the whole thing on your channel.
Yeah.
Weather Watch Washes is what it's going to be called.
Really?
Yes. And then we can see the. You have to wear like those little shorts that you wore for the golf tournament on a dare. Do you remember that? You didn't
No.
see that your friend sent me a picture. Just kidding.
Outro done. Everyone,
Yeah,
thank you
we're
for
done.
tuning
Yeah.
in.
It's been good, guys. Have a great night. We'll go on that one. Have fun. If you're going over to Ivan and Ricky or Ian Runkle, have a wonderful one. We might catch you on one or two of those channels. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Have a great night, everybody.
All right. I was supposed to click something here, huh? Wait. We have to go to this. Boom. There we go.